Okay.
Okay. So this is Team 6, and this is our Scenario 200 planning meeting. I guess I can go first with sharing mine, and then whoever wants to follow can do that. Let's see. All right. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So first I went through and changed the production orders again for Taj Mahal, and as you can see, I started out the year with 3,000 up until May, and then kind of slowly increased to 4,000 for the rest of the year. I did this because I found this to make the most profit and or the most EBT. But also by doing this, it helped me later on decide costs for Alley Cat and Edgar Ale. So then I went through, I believe it was production orders for Alley Cat to make sure that there were no lost sales between Alley Cat and Edgar. So started out pretty high up there again with 6,000 cases. And then kind of went down throughout the year, except for in July, which is when we kind of needed to re-up on it, which we've found doing the simulations. And then for the rest of the year, it dropped down to about 1,000. And then for the prices with that, it stayed pretty even at 15.50 for the first 3 months. Then then I increased it to 17, then 17.20, and then back down to 17, and then 15.50 again, just to kind of follow the trend of people buying it. And then for Edgar Ale to finish it out, I kept it at 14.50 for basically the whole year, except for the last 4 months, where I found that if I dropped the price to 14.20, it helped to make a little bit more EBT for our final EBT. So I ended with 210,000. So that is my spreadsheet.
Cool. I can share mine now.
Okay.
All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. So for this one, I started out with my Taj Mahal production. I started out at 3,000 and kept it pretty much at 3,000 until July, to where I did 3,500, almost 4,000, and then 4,000 for the rest of the year. I kept the price the same at 17.50, just because that's our most profitable, until September, and then in October I dropped it down to 16, and then started bumping it back up to 16.50, and then 17.25. So then by the next year it would be at 17.50 again. For Alley Cat, I did 6,000 for the first month. Then I went and did 58, and then 5,000 up until June, just so we could kind of like start stocking up on that, because production really starts to increase in like April or May. And then in July there was another big bump, and so let's see, and then I continue to do it through August, September, and then in October I dropped it down to 3,000, just because the demand is much lower, and then kept that in November, and then December at 1,000, just because there's basically no sales then. And then for the prices on Alley Cat, I kept it at 15.50 until March, and then production really started to increase, and so did demand, so I bumped the price up to 16.50 for April and May. Then for the summer months of June, July, and August, I did 17.50. September was 15.50, and then 15 for the winter months. And then for the pricing on Edgar Ale, I pretty much kept it at 14.50 for all of the months, basically. And then in October, November, December, I dropped it back down to 14. As you can see, there were no lost sales, and then my final EBT was 211. So, yeah.
All right. Can you guys see that?
Mhm.
All right. Well, so I started out with Taj Mahal, and I kept the prices all the same throughout the whole year. I found that it minimized the difference in the EBT. I kept production pretty much consistent, 3,000 half the year, and I slowly raised it up by 500 for a couple months, and then kept it at 4,000. For Alley Cat in the summer, I tried to stockpile a lot in the end of the winter and keep it consistent throughout, a little bit lower for the summer, and then lower it down again a lot at the beginning of the winter. I went back and forth with the price. I found that very, very small price changes for this one minimize a lot of that damage for the EBT. And then Edgar Ale, I kept it at 1420. I don't know why, but it stayed the same the whole time and it works. And I ended with EBT of 212. So, yeah.
Cool. So I feel like for the most part, our EBTs were in the same like range, so that's good. I feel like, I mean, Tyler's definitely had the highest EBT, and I really liked what he did with the like more production of Alley Cat, because that seems to be kind of our downfall, is like we think that we have enough and then we never end up having enough.
Right.
I went a bit
So
wrong last time.
Yeah.
And so I think we should definitely follow that.
Yeah.
And then I think we should also, this time we should increase or like keep our Edgar production pretty steady throughout the year, and then increase
Yeah.
it just a little bit in the winter months, just because we let it basically fall, which was fine, you know, like we still did fine, but I think that we would be more profitable if we had some in inventory at all times.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Mhm.
kind of like what yours was, kind of adjusting the price very minimally when it comes to like Edgar Ale and Alley Cat. I think that helped to definitely increase the EBT, and like Tyler said, just to help like minimize the damages that our previous simulation attempts had gone through. But yeah, I think that we could kind of use Tyler's as like a base to go off of, and then just kind of adjust Edgar Ale production and Alley Cat production as we go, like based off of that, and then just kind of keep the price changes like minimal, like depending on the month too.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. It says we have to say like how we're going to use the spreadsheet, but that's kind of, we just kind of talked about it. Like we just, I think keeping track of our inventory graph type thing, and just kind of really monitoring that and making sure that our inventory and the time lines up with the spreadsheet in the months.
Yeah, I think so too. So using that, let's go into assigning roles. I don't remember what everybody did last time, but I think I might have been looking at inventory. What were you gonna say, Tyler?
I think I was looking at inventory. You were at sale. I mean, we jumped back and forth, but that was our primary thing.
So you were on inventory. Do you want to stay on inventory and then kind of use the spreadsheet to go like to compare?
Sure.
Like, okay.
Been working in the past, so.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay. And then Avery, do you want to still be in control of like production and like making all of that? Okay. And then what was my job last time? I can't even remember.
You did sales, but do you want to also, I found that it kind of got like a little overwhelming with doing the production and monitoring the work center queues. So if you want to do the work center queue, that I think would be really.
For sure. I could do that, and I think I could do sales too, because I could jump back and forth in between them. So yeah, I think that could work pretty well.
Cool.
So then should we create 8 production orders now? Okay.
Yeah.
So and then do we want to use Tyler's to what's it called? Go off of for like, what is that? We start in January, so I guess January.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I did not have this pulled up before, so. All right. So scenario 200. I'm guessing it's in 1, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, here, I can share my screen too as we go. All right, are you guys able to see this?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So what do we need to start out with for Taj, Alley Cat, Edgar?
I started with Taj at 3,000 for the month.
Okay, so if we do 2 orders of Taj, then
Can you pull up
that would
our
be about 3,000.
inventory and see?
Yes.
Because don't we start out with some type of like, or is it? Let's see.
I think it's like 5,800 or no, yeah.
Okay, I think it's
Okay.
this, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So then Taj starts out at about 5,000.
Cool.
And then, yeah, the rest are up there too. So I guess to go off of that, what all do we need to do? Especially because I think Taj is going to continue to be like it's going to be a good portion of that is going to be sold. So we're going to want to keep it at 3,000 for the next month or for when it's next sold too, right?
Yeah. Like at the
I
2
say
And I
2
don't know-
orders personally.
2 orders of it.
Okay.
Okay. And then another. Okay. And then we could go Alley Cat now if we'd like. So that's at about 2,500. And what does your what's it called?
Spreadsheet.
Yes, say.
Like how much like production?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is Alley
I
Cat?
had 6,000.
Okay. And then what about your Edgar Ale?
2,000. Just
Okay.
under.
So I'm wondering if because Edgar already starts out at 6,000, if we do 2 orders of Alley Cat. What do you guys think?
I agree with that.
That makes sense because I stockpiled at the end of the winter anyway. Apparently that works.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
We'll
So-
go 2 of that.
And then, so that's our
And
first
then-
one.
Yep.
For our second one,
Yes.
We
What do
could
we want to do
do-
first?
because that'd still be in January. I feel like our Edgar will be doing fine. So maybe we do 1 Taj, 3 Alley Cat.
Okay. Yeah, because we're gonna want Alley Cat to go back. Well, we want it to increase like a good amount to stockpile for the summertime. Right.
Right. Right.
Okay. So then I'll go 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 Taj. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
Do we change
So
the
those
price
are
yet?
our. I don't know where you would change.
I
the
think we have
price.
to do it once the simulation actually starts. I think
That would make sense. Yeah. I'm
Um,
assuming there's some sort of button some sort of page that we go on to.
Right. It just says
to
in
do all
the team planning instructions that we just need to do the production orders. So I feel like he'll tell us tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
Cool.
there are our first 8 for the month of January. We used our spreadsheet and everybody has their roles, so should be good there.
Perfect. I'm gonna stop
yeah.
recording.
Cool.